because we're actually sitting in the same room, but
20
um,
feet apart about.
exactly. So we're working out the kinks. We'll figure it out. I think we might need to get JP a new microphone because we're trying to use the same ones we use with the pod tracker. So hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, I guess. So door underscore disc underscore golf, night underscore owl underscore pod, and then doordisc.com. Also, YouTube, which is where this thing's going to go. Just look up Door Disc Golf on YouTube and you'll be able to find us. So, quick reminder the Vegas table. We will have a Vegas table out at the Las Vegas Challenge. So, it'll be in the main tent and it's basically going to be a exposure. Hey, howdy. We're going to be able to shake your hands and chat with you. So Ben will be sitting at the table for the majority of the time. And then I'll be there for the rest of the time. So, with that being said, how, JP, do you feel about how social media has shaped disc golf or disc golfers, rather?
Ooh, well, I mean, social media has really turned into the big marketing tool for social media, making your own brands. And I mean, we've seen it with DD and Kona. They definitely put an emphasis with that compared to performance.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some people who do have more performance laden contracts where competing is the main priority. As a amateur disc golfer, definitely want to try to up your social media game so you can provide some more worth to companies to get sponsorship or whatever you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. It's grown exponentially. I mean, there's so many outlets like us on the podcast, and then
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is. I mean, pretty much anybody's on social media nowadays.
Right,
And
right.
then you can also monetize that for yourself
Mm-hmm.
and make money that way as well.
That's right. Yeah. Eh, How do you think it's influenced the disc golfer as far as what they want to see and what they're buying? So, kind of a keeping up with the Joneses. Do you think that's having an effect with social media?
I definitely see people plugging their discs, signature discs, signature
Mm-hmm.
tour series discs. Even influencers are plugging other people's discs all the time, telling them where they can get them, what shops maybe they're sponsored by or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's I don't. I think we've kind of talked about this before, but
A little bit. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't. I don't know if I'm that influenced by influencers.
Sure.
I mean, I'm gonna buy a disc from a pro or whoever simply because I want to buy that disc from them and support them or throw it because I'm interested in it.
Right, right. I guess I look at it and being the reason I brought it up is because I feel like social media has brought us to a point where we are influenced by how people get successful in disc golf. And you look at the young players starting out, there are thousands upon thousands of accounts on social media, YouTube, whatever it may be, that give the impression that they have been watching other people do the same thing and they have to do that in order to get recognized.
Yeah,
So I don't know how many videos I've seen with what the proper grip is. I don't know how many videos I've seen. Can I reach 400 feet with a forehand or whatever it is? Or this is my putting routine. This is, and I think all those are valuable. Absolutely. And I'm not knocking anybody for making any of these videos because I've done them too. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, isn't that kind of what we're doing? Is we're just trying to emulate the Mr. Beasts of the disc golf world, like Simon and so on and so forth, like all these individuals that have these large accounts. Aren't we just kind of mimicking them and not being as creative as we could be because we have such shining examples in front of us?
yeah, I think that's a good point. I think what happens with disc golf is there's only so much you can show. Like if you maybe outside of disc golf and just regular life, showing that off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, we're gonna show people try to throw forehands, go for distance, whatever. And the thing is that the social media game is so saturated now with so many people trying to do that. So many people think that this uh, YouTube or whatever, that those videos are just going to get views based upon being part of disc golf and everybody looking for for disc golf.
Right.
And I think that's a very hard part to kind of break into.
Hmm.
So I mean, you have to have your own voice and make people want to find you, but more than likely, people are probably going to be looking for the pros because they are professionals. So that's kind of hard to break into.
Yeah, yeah, and that's it's being honest and being true to what your voice is. So, for instance, when we started this podcast, we were we had this really original thought that we were going to go with, and then very shortly after, a professional disc golfer started a podcast that almost emulated exactly what we were going to start with. As a matter of fact, I think our intro still says what we were going to do.
Yeah, the trailer
Yeah,
for
the
the
trailer,
show.
excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah, the trailer that's up there, which we should probably redo.
yeah, maybe we
Yeah,
might be a good idea.
if not, yeah, it's a surprise. um, but it still emulates it. So when I started hearing that, I was kind of like, "Come on, man! Like that was our idea." But then, she has a following that is probably 100 times larger than currently we have. Maybe
Easily.
not. Who knows? but but it was just one of those things like, okay, so well, let's just be us. Like, we don't have to fit this mold. We don't have to bring these things. Let's talk about what we want to talk about, how we want to talk about, and make jokes about your OnlyFans page.
Right. And I think what helps her too is the connections that well, obviously it's Paige Pierce and Joe Mez together.
Right.
What helps with them is that they have those connections kind of built in, and it's easy for them to reach out to these people that
Hmm.
maybe we would try to reach out to or whatever, and it's a little harder on our end. I mean, we do probably have some connections to get to those people, but it's just not a direct connection.
Right. Right. I think that's what is hard to. If you're in the know, you're in the know. And disc golf is a very easy one to be in the know. Hence the whole Simon thing. There's a bunch of people that knew exactly what we knew.
Hmm.
And it was kind of the worst kept secret of disc golf. I mean, it wasn't really a mystery where he was going or what he was doing. And I think that's the same thing, that same avenue that creates that also goes forward with creating that everybody knows everybody. And if you're in the know, you're going to know exactly what it is. And we're
Hmm.
slowly breaking into that. There's more and more people that are starting to reach out. There's more and more pros and higher level individuals in disc golf that we're starting to get a hold of. But it's, it's, it gets it gets harder and harder to be original, just like you said. But just having your own voice and making sure that you're, I don't know, being true to yourself and true to your motto, I think is the biggest thing. And so when we talked about how YouTube and social medias are shaping disc golf, I feel like it can be in a very generic way, especially right now in the midst of everything that's going on. I feel like people should just take a deep breath, analyze who they are, and just as you do in business, you have, an internal and an external motto. Figure out what those two things are and stay true to them. If everybody's going out and eating a Tide Pod for views, do, do we need to go out and eat Tide Pods for views? Probably not. So,
Well, I want to live, so that's
well,
another reason why.
true, true, true. I'll second that.
No, but to bring up the Simon thing, with Nick and Matt had an exclusive interview with him. He said he doesn't want to do more interviews about the announcement, or he's going to try to limit what he's going to do coming forth.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if they have that connection and he considers them a friend, they're going to get that.
yeah. Well, and I think that's a great connection to have, and I'm super happy for them. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed that interview, and I just love how candid and raw and true Simon is. I'm going to put this pen down because I keep clicking it, but I loved how candid everything was, and also I love the fact that he's like, well, my details aren't out there for the public to know, so I'm not sure how everybody got those. And then we're going to speak in a little bit to Ultiworld and what they have released on behalf of MVP.
Right.
So, but with that being said, What'd you get? Throw a hanger flipper?
Man, I didn't buy anything this week. I'm waiting for. I guess I could have pre-ordered the Simon discs if I
Hmm.
really wanted to, but I'm just kind of waiting for DoorDisk to get them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm anticipating those. I want to get one of the Simon, or not the Simon, James Conrad twisty Zeniths.
Yep, yep.
Yep, and then I think there's going to be Fission Envies as way, so I'm kind of anticipating those. Not that I'm jumping full MVP or anything. I'm still going to throw my Discmania and other companies, but I am interested in those
Yeah,
discs. So,
yeah. Well, you won't be the only one that bandwagons. It's okay. I mean, it's just bound to happen. So,
yeah.
yeah, so we did get all four of those. So we're getting ahead a little bit with the shop updates. We had all four of the new releases. So we should be getting them actually fairly soon. It's a little bit sooner than they thought. They thought that we wouldn't get them until into March. Fortunately, we're getting them sooner than that. But unfortunately, it's almost exactly when I'm going to be in Vegas.
Oh,
So,
perfect
so
timing.
yeah, so we'll have to have like Caden or someone come in and put them on the shop. Everybody's doing
Caden would probably happily do that.
oh, exactly. I'm sure he will. And if he listens to this, Caden, we calling for you. Um, so everybody's taking pre-orders for him, which is
Hmm.
strange to me because the way this is going down is that you can start taking pre-orders, no issues with that, but you're only getting a partial fulfillment of your order by there's a date in February. You're only getting a partial fulfillment of that order, and then they're going to satisfy the orders about 3 weeks later. So
Huh.
that's the reason I'm not putting them up for pre-sale or pre-order because I don't know how many I'm going to get for this first order. So if I sell 40 of them and I only get 10, what am I going to do? Who am I going to disappoint? I know I can do it chronologically, but I just feel there's going to be enough demand for them that I'll be able to hold them in the shop and people will be able to get them day of. So,
I know. I saw some other places too that said they were pre-ordering that they're going to have them, and they weren't worried about pre-ordering at all. They're just like, we have them, come get them,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And then we have that 6-time Paul Macbeth stuff coming in. I'm starting to see pre-orders coming up for those. We can
Hmm.
actually start doing pre-orders tomorrow for them. But I'm not going to, I'm the same thing. I don't know what colors they are. I don't know exactly how many I'm going to get in. I mean, I ordered what I ordered, but when am I going to get them? And so we'll get them. And we'll be able to sell them. I don't think there's going to be an issue with that. It's just, it's strange to me to see all these pre-orders going up, especially with the MVP stuff, because they've specifically said that the pre-orders or that the fulfillment is going to happen in 2 stages. So, and
Hmm.
almost a month apart. So we'll see.
I
There'll be
think
some,
I don't know. It seems like they're just kind of following the James Conrad um, method of doing the envies because that was going to be such a hot ticket. So maybe they
mhm.
thought if we just to expect what they can have out and produce.
Yeah, yeah. And they let out another email today that they're extending the sale for retailers. Because I guess, and this is strange to me, either they're like, hey, we haven't reached our capacity, so let's go ahead and open it up again, or oh crap, we didn't sell enough. Let's open it up again for a couple more days and hopefully, but they limit the number that people could order by tier. So whatever your
Okay.
buying power is, they limit that number. So it is what it is. I think they could sell a ton of them, but also, like I said, I think they learned from the envy that there were a crud ton of them out there, and they are still a crud ton of them out there that are brand new sitting in boxes. Hence, 64 of them right here. So,
Well, I mean, you might not have had 64 of them if Nomadic would have sold them. So you never know.
oh right, right, yeah. I mean, I know that's happy coincidence. I don't think there's that many, but I know like Glide had a crud ton of them still. They were actually giving them away free with a certain
Yeah, I think Josh might still have some too. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, and that's nuts. That's nuts. So, all right. I didn't buy anything other than the hexes and things, but that's all shop stuff. So personally,
Hmm.
I didn't buy anything. All right, so let's go our preview. So we're going to talk Valerie Mandujano. We're also going to talk Simon. We're going to talk Paige Shue and Nate Perkins. We will talk about the most relevant, irrelevant disc golfer in disc golf. So, or person in disc golf rather. And surprise you if you've heard me talk about it before. I might have a bit of a change of heart on him because I watched Luke Humphreys and him in the GK Pro podcast on YouTube, and I'm impressed. I'm a believer now. So let's see.
Well, he kind of serves a different role now as well.
Right, right. Well, let's just jump in and talk about Nate. So
Yeah.
you have heard me in the past talk about Nate Perkins being the most relevant, irrelevant disc golfer there is, and simply because he's everywhere. He's in media, he's behind the scenes. He has Discmania discs that are being produced for him. They're some of the most popular molds, and every time you see a documentary or something like that, he's always involved. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because as a player, he's average. He doesn't stick out any further. I mean, any higher than any other mid level player. He's what 30th ranked or something like that, or maybe even lower than
It
that.
might be lower than that.
So thinking about it that way, he just left Discmania, and I thought to myself like, big deal. Who cares? And then I saw Luke Humphreys and him on a podcast. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to it because it's kind of making a circuit around all the social medias and getting some hype. So I decided to just sit down and watch it begrudgingly. And then I watched it and I loved it. And I have, like I said, I've never not liked Nate Perkins. Um, I just, I just don't understand where his relevance comes from. And now I understand. I mean, the man is part of media, and he's part of almost every documentary that's come out about disc golf. He's a player, of course, a pro
Mm-hmm.
player, and been with Discmania for 7 years. And then also, he's an agent.
Yeah, Schaefer Sports, I think.
So Nate Perkins is Schaefer Sports.
No. He works on behalf of them. He's one of the people. He's negotiated at least 3 or 4 contracts recently. I
That's
don't remember who for.
that's incredible. I mean
Yeah,
that's incredible. And when I was listening to him, I was just finding all that out, and I'm like, that is brilliant. So the reason why the man is the most relevant, irrelevant disc golfer there is because he is in everything. So I have to change his title to the most relevant disc golfer, and especially now since he doesn't get the Color Glow Night Strike. So,
yeah,
well,
that's a
anymore.
bummer.
Yeah, it is. It is. Hopefully, they drop the Color Glow to somebody. But think about all those night strikes you have; they're going to be worth a lot of money now.
Yeah, I was hoping they're gonna do the Simon treatment and release him anyway.
Yeah. No.
Who knows? No.
Yeah. Well,
Or
they
what if it
might.
been so? Would have been something different? Would have been like a Halo FD or something like that? Because I know.
Well, do they have Color Glow yet?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have a Color Glow FD that came in one of the mystery boxes,
Oh, that's right.
and then they just released the Color Glow DD3s.
Are the Color Glows still as stable as the new FDs, or are they a little less stable, being that they're more on SI?
I haven't thrown mine yet,
Oh, okay.
so I have no idea. It's been cold.
Yeah, true. Getting cold. It's been cold.
Yeah,
Oh, speaking of, I was out in a plow truck again for freaking hours today. We got a ton of snow here today. So, all right. Well, let's talk about Valerie Mandajono. Looks like she's up next. So, grade 3 ankle sprain and out for a minimum of 3 weeks and not even walking on it for 3 weeks. So, then there's going to be a kind of a rehab time, which I'm assuming will be a
hmm
week to 2 weeks after that. I'm assuming that she's out for LVC and then probably out for some of that Southern Texas swing, which sucks going into her home state.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's out with the new sponsor with Discraft, but I would guess that she's thrown Alexis's discs a number of times before she switched, so she was really familiar with them. It's always good with a new sponsor to kind of get out to a good start, though. So you build that confidence throughout the season, and then get that sponsor some exposure as well.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
liking this.
especially missing the first DGPT,
hmm
it's gonna be difficult. I mean, that difficulty with leaving or not being there for the first cameras, the first roll, the all that, and maybe she'll still be there, still be active, but obviously she's not walking anywhere. She's going to be in an air cast, and
Yeah.
so that is unfortunate, and best luck in healing and getting back onto the course because we like seeing you and we're glad for you. But man, just be careful around those rocks, I guess. Wonder if it was a
I wonder.
curb or was it a high heel incident or.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard what it was. I wonder if she'll make an appearance at the All Star event, though. Just as a, just because they always do like a draft, or they had,
Mhm.
and so maybe just have her be an honorary All Star because she was selected.
Yeah, that's very possible. We just got that thing from the DGPT that they wanted us to come out to their convention. Not like they
Hmm.
don't want us there; they want us to buy a ticket to go out to their convention.
Yeah, so you can listen to everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. So it seems really interesting to go out there, but I don't know who the roster is out there. I don't know anything like that. But I'll do some more research, and for the next podcast, I'll know. But yeah, that's it sucks because I know every time I wear high heels, I roll my ankle. So hopefully that's not the case.
I think I saw
But
Steve Dodge might be out there. Jackie Morris from DD.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's a couple other
Yeah,
TDs and
Hawk
other people.
Design.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember. Zimmer, Andrew Zimmer is going to be out there as
Yes.
well.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a couple, notable individuals. Nothing stood out to me as like I have to go to watch this. Like Jomez is there, and there's some
Oh yeah.
individuals there that are doing that type of stuff. But there's nothing out there that I'm like, yes, I have to go because this is going to be groundbreaking information. The one thing that did spark my interest is they have a Shopify conference that is going to be like kind of best practices for Shopify and retail because this conference is very much um, revolves around professional in disc golf, not just hey, come meet the pros like the Infinite one was. This is like
Hmm.
straight up for industry professionals. So I think it's a great idea, and that's exactly what I would have loved to see. And I think last year when we talked about it, that's what I said. Man, I really wish they would have done something like this. And sure enough, they listened to me. Probably not me,
Yeah, I
but
mean, they probably listened to us and were like, "Hey, those guys have great ideas."
yeah, those guys are great. We're just gonna steal their ideas. You could put us on the DGPT network. Should we just leave an awkward silence there and just wait? All right. Well, all right.
Reach
So
out.
Valerie Mondahano, heal up well, and hopefully we can get you, hopefully you can get back to playing here real soon. But at least probably a month before we see her back out on the course. All right, Paige Shue. She has officially declared and chosen a side.
Yeah, one
So
of the, one of DD's biggest competitors as
yeah.
well.
Yep. So Discraft is the choice. Everybody was kind of going back and forth about who and where, and Infinite was one of the largest possibilities. And some guy on the Night Owls Disc Golf podcast said that she might be going to Millennium. By the way, I looked back on Millennium's site. I couldn't find a thing about 115 again. I saw it on Instagram, just the black thing, and
Okay.
I think they were trolling. Good
Yeah.
job,
Okay.
they got me. So, but um, so yeah, so she's on Discraft. She has Ezra's old RV,
Yep.
and she's super excited. They did a kind of a tour with it. That's the only thing I've seen yet. No details about her contract. We don't know anything about the disc she's going to get, how long it is. Well, no, we know how long, right? 2 years,
I, maybe a
or is
year.
that not
I
even
think
out there?
I don't know. I thought she was on Smashbox the other night, and I kind of listened to it. She wasn't on for too long. I thought she might have said a year, maybe two.
Okay.
And Grady's signed to Infinite. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Infinite.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it sounds like they're going to be splitting up what tournaments they do,
Mm-hmm.
and the parents might be coming out to help out with babysitting the daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and or they'll split, like, okay, I'll sit here, you'll go there, whatever the situation
Right.
is.
Right.
She's not on the elite team, from what I
Okay.
understand. I think she's just on the touring team. I mean, because she wasn't announced during that big elite team video. She
Right.
announced a couple days after, and she also signed with Ludstone, and I think I saw she might have a buzz.
Yeah. So Ledgestone, Squatch, and
Yep.
and Discraft. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's in the Discraft realm. I mean, that's where they go. And I'm surprised being with Discraft that she doesn't carry a grip bag. But I guess Discraft is not exclusively, but Ledgestone
No.
and Discraft are. pretty heavy in
Oh yeah, with
grip.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe she signed her Squatch Bag sponsorships before she signed with Discraft. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but never. Nonetheless, I guess it's technically Discraft doesn't have their own bag anyways, so it is
Yeah.
what it is. So, all right.
The other crazy thing with that too is when she was on PGA radio, she kept mentioning the unique flights of the discs. So
Yeah,
that's like, yeah, whatever. Discraft doesn't strike me as unique flights.
I, yeah. I didn't quite understand that one either. It's strange that she uses that word for it because there's so many other disc manufacturers that have a unique flight.
Hmm.
Discraft would not be one that I would say they have a unique flight. I think there are certain discs that have a unique flight, like the Venom or something like that,
Right.
or but I wouldn't say Discraft has unique flights. I mean, for every DD equivalent, there's a Discraft equivalent. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
say,
I don't know.
yeah,
Like when she said the unique flights, I was really thinking either MVP or some
hmm
other company that maybe we hadn't seen, or is, I don't know, something like Casaplas or something like with Berg. Like Berg's
yeah,
pretty unique. I don't know.
yeah, or like Clash or something. But we knew she wasn't going
Yep.
to Clash because we don't have helicopter money. So,
Yeah.
so, but it didn't look like she got helicopter money. So I'm interested to see what she got. But I think she's simply just looking at it saying, who knows? Because in her interview, she said that she wanted to make the best choice financially, and
Hmm.
disc golf is a better choice financially than actually working in her uh, profession of choice. So
Sure.
we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, it comes out public. Discraft doesn't seem to hide that type of stuff. So,
No, not generally.
but
But
I
what's
think they
crazy to me
probably
as well. Oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say every female that left DD went to Discraft.
Yeah, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just went down that chain and they just have such a good rapport at DD with amongst one each other for the
Hmm.
FPO that they're just like, let's go. And and like I said, maybe there's some sort of like hostilities there because it seems like anytime someone leaves DD, they go to Discraft.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. So, but then
Agent
again, what
Missy a
player,
couple years ago. Yeah.
yeah, what player that leaves, I wish we had the full list that doesn't go to Discraft. I mean, it seems
Mason
like
Ford,
Discraft picks
but
everybody
that's about
up.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and even Paige even reached out to Discraft. Like she called them to get them a meeting with them. Just
yep, yep. That seems so strange to me, especially especially because sorry, I'm trying to stand up a paper here and I can't. Okay.
okay.
It seems so strange to me because like maybe it's just to make the separation from pops. Like I don't want to make this awkward, but I think I'm worth more money and I don't want to cause this hardship between me and my pops, between
Hmm.
her and her dad at DD because her dad is the CEO. I mean, so that's incredible, and I know they have a good long relationship. She's worked in every capacity at DD, so
Hmm.
it does seem strange. There's something more there, and this is what I went to in the last, well, one of the last podcasts was what's really happening. Who's going to have the nuts one day to just say exactly what happened? Like these guys are like I don't know. I'm not speaking on behalf of Shue, but just like let's imagine I'm leaving and like, man, these guys are a holes. Like they don't care about the player. All they care about is the money, and I need to go somewhere else that makes feel like I'm valued. Like when
I
is
would
that
love
going
a
to come out?
tell-all book. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think the most genuine person I've heard was Simon, but it was still the same thing. No, we still talk to each other. Blah, blah. Like, come on. There is no way that all these relationships stay good. I feel like we should probably try to have Holland Hanley back on and be like, come on.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
a
feel
good
like
idea.
she'd be a person that would just like spill it.
Hmm.
So I think that would be awesome if she would too. Because I would really like to know that back end. I mean, I would love to be that TMZ, like, but to get it truthfully and not any
Hmm.
speculation. So, um, all right. Well, anything else about her?
No, I just hope that she has a good season. I'm rooting for her.
Mm,
She's just one of those personalities on tour that you can't help but like and root for.
right.
Kind of
Right.
like Owen Scoggins,
Yeah. It kind
or
of has like
something like
that
that.
little sister best friend vibe. For me, like that's
Yeah, a
the kind
little
of that.
bit. Um, I think a lot of people have seen her grow up playing disc golf as well, like watching her develop throughout the years. That's kind of how they also developed a relationship with her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sorry, I'm drinking a ton of water because I've been having like lots of headaches and I haven't been drinking water lately. So
You can get surprisingly dehydrated in winter.
it's incredible. It's incredible. Like I was getting this real bad headache and I'm like, man, have I drinking anything today? Like, yeah, I had a coffee and like 4 sodas. I didn't have that many sodas, but
Caffeine will dehydrate you too if you
yeah,
have enough of
yeah.
it.
It was nuts, but all right, so let's get on to Simon. So I know everybody's talked about Simon, and we've actually already talked to him, but I want to talk about what came out in Ulti World specifically. So our source was 100% right, and we had known about this before all the grumblings came out. At least I did. Knew about this before all the grumblings came out. So, like I said, kind of the worst kept secret in disc golf.
Hmm.
I feel like I did my best to not talk about it, not say anything. I mean, even in our personal group text, like between friends, I didn't say a word. So I feel very accomplished about that. But with that said, now that I've like toted my own collar here, MVP is going to pay Simon Lazada guaranteed 7 figures a year, along with a 6 figure signing bonus. Um, and has an uncapped potential for more earnings through disc sales. Hence the hex that's just coming out, the Simon Lazadal um, hex that's going to come out. I'm sure they've sold more than they know what to do with and how to produce, but I'm sure they're dedicating all of their machines for the next because they say they're supposed to get us to us in about a month, and I'm sure they're going to dedicate every one of their machines to running these things. So I don't know how their production process goes, but that's what it's going to be. And it is also reported that MVP paid Discmania $1 million to buy out the contract from Lazat, which was restructured this past spring and was set to run through 2026. So keep that in mind. I mean, that's a lot of money to buy out a player's contract, then to turn around and give him $1 million this year, plus a portion of disc sales. So that man cost MVP over 2 bills,
Yeah,
$2 million. That's nuts. Just
that's
this
crazy.
year.
Hmm.
So the cost of that is incredible. And you could probably officially say that that was the most expensive contract in disc golf history at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Simon's not allowed to say it. He's got an NDA, but you could guesstimate that it's definitely the most worth the most.
Right, right.
With the unlimited potential to earn off of disc, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the 10 million 10 year that matches Macbeth.
Yep.
The 6 figure signing bonus that matches Ricky and Macbeth.
Hmm.
It's the $1 million buyout that kind of puts him over the edge with everything. Because I'm assuming the Macbeth line, he's probably making just as much as Macbeth in that regard. He sells disc and moves plastic just about the same. Probably
Yeah,
not as much, but pretty darn close.
I would guess pretty darn close. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's Simon kind of said that maybe there wasn't a buyout reached out and that there's an agreement come between Discmania and MVP. I don't know if that's what he had said on Nick and Matt or if I misheard that, but it
Hmm.
didn't sound like there's exactly a buyout.
Yeah, I don't know. I see, and I'm just reading what the
Yeah.
article, like I'm reading verbatim what the article has from Ultiworld, and that's what it says. Their sources says it comes from MVP.
Hmm.
So who
I mean, that's
knows?
trustworthy then if it's really coming from them.
Right, right. And yeah, like I said, who knows? But the thing that I'm super excited to see, obviously, the Lazadal is, I mean, which is there's an axolotl stamp on the hex, and everybody knows about it. That's that pre-orders we were just talking about.
Hmm.
I'm excited to see those, and I like the fun, airy stuff. Now, the thing you did notice on that stamp, because everybody's seen the stamp, there's no Simon Lazat logo. The
Right.
thing you know,
Hmm.
and the reason why is that it's the Discmania wings that Simon has always used and the shield that Simon has always used. And the rumblings that I'm hearing is that Simon Lazat does not have ownership of his own logo. So now he has to create a new logo.
Yeah, it sounded like he wasn't sure if he and Discmania had an agreement as to who would own it, but he made it sound like they have it, and he just wants to rebrand and have a new logo, and that's pretty exciting for a player to have a hands-on design and be able to get something new.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a great way for a fresh start with a new company. I think this is a great move for him, but also to separate himself from that brand.
Yeah.
Because I think he is so synonymously known with Discmania that having that further separation is only going to be a positive thing. And it's a good time to actually correct some of the issues that he made in the past as a young player, not valuing his marketability and
Hmm.
not, excuse me, and not um, making sure that he was protected
Yeah.
so that he can do whatever he wants with his logo. Because, I mean, like, let's say, I don't know, like, Idio Sports wants to do the next Jordan, and they
Yeah.
want to do it with Simon. So Idio Sports approaches Simon and wants to throw Simon's logo on a shoe. At this point, Discmania, from what I understand, owns that shoe and that logo now and the rights to it, or I'm sure gets a cut of every one of those pairs of shoes. Whereas, and by the way, if Idio Sports wants to do this, I'll take credit. Don't worry. So,
Yeah.
or
Right on.
just shoes. I mean, it's funny. I have those shoes and I only wore them twice.
I've worn them a couple more times. They're kind of molding my feet and getting a little more comfortable. They're not too bad.
Okay, I haven't worn them enough to know. I'll take them out to Vegas, but
Hmm.
I haven't worn them enough to know. But I just everything I wear, like I wear 1 stars, like Converse 1 stars. I wear. I mean, everything. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing. I mean, I think I've worn Crocs out to play before. For the most part, nothing's really a bad choice. So, but those you can tell the Idio Sports shoes, they're nice. They're nice, but I haven't given them a fair shake yet, so I couldn't give a true um, thing with it. But so, anyways, if Simon Lizotte gets a new brand, now he can go back out and make sure he's protected, make sure he owns the rights to it, make sure that all these fruitful things that can come with his image
Hmm.
are now his. They're not MVPs, they're not Discmanias, they're not some other superfluous being that's out there. They're his. So I think that's
Yeah.
going to be a beautiful thing for him.
It's crazy to me. Well, not crazy, but that Discmania had the creator series and he created the Tilt, and then later he came out with the Mind Bender. They're going to come out with the MD1, but to have the Mind Bender, maybe it's because they worked with Innova and they could kind of build new molds through Latitude 64, that he was able to get his own disc that he could create. Now, when they released the MVP video for his announcement, they edited out. He's like, "Oh, can I say this?" And it sounds like he's going to have his own discs, and
Mm-hmm.
then he announced what he was going to have, but they edited it out. And I
Right.
think what's going to happen is they're going to create like a DD3 or a 12-speed driver, because MVP's lineup does not have a 12-speed driver.
Yeah, I remember him saying that there was the 13s or the 11s, and
Hmm.
um, I'm assuming that's probably what it'll be. I know a lot of people say, "Well, MVP doesn't have stable enough stuff," and I'm just like, man, have you guys ever thrown MVP? MVP has some meat hooks in their brand.
Yeah,
I mean, they have ones that are very very similar to like the tilts and gators and
Fireball is
justices
super
and
overstable, but that's actually,
yeah,
but
but
there's still
still,
some other things in there. Yeah.
yeah. So between those three brands, Streamline MVP, I mean, there's plenty. Like the Runway is an absolute beefcake. I mean, that like the Runway, you would think with the way it's named, it's going to be this really straight flyer. No, no, no,
Hmm.
no, no. It's absolutely like a beefcake. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what he's going to do with these things. I'm interested to see that YouTube video that just popped right before we got on here.
Yeah,
Um,
about an hour before we got on, he posted a video.
yep, yep. So, all right. Anything else to talk about with Simon?
No, I mean, he announced right after last week when we had recorded we were going to try to do Thursday and we couldn't do it, so we did Wednesday, and then the
Hmm.
page shoe thing came out and everything. So it's almost kind of been beaten to death.
Right.
but it's just still fun to talk about because it's Simon.
Yeah.
Um, I'm kind of surprised that he's not throwing any streamline. I didn't see when he did his in the bag. I didn't see any streamline. I would think that him coming from Discmania and having just the single mold and then moving to the over mold, that he would try some of the streamline discs.
Yeah, I would have assumed that would have been the case too, but my assumption is do you think his signature discs are going to be overmold? I would assume his very first disc is going to come out. No, it's assumption. His very first line of discs is going to come out. I don't think it's going to be overmold. I bet you it's going
Oh,
to
you
be in
don't?
the streamline. That's just
Hmm.
my opinion. But then
Okay.
again, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Like, because I know that all the Conrad stuff is all MVP, and I know that
Yep.
he's the one. But is there a Streamline sponsored Pro? Is there Streamline and Axiom sponsored Pros?
No. Everybody is under the MVP umbrella. Like Sarah Holcomb has the Crave. And even though she has a Crave and it's an Axiom mold,
Mm-hmm.
it still says Team MVP on it.
Right, right.
So I think that's just how it goes.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with that. I think it's probably going to end up being um, probably a streamline. So I bet you it's going to be some beefcake of a streamline driver like a PD2 or DD. I don't know if he's going to do a DD3. Honestly, I mean, he
I don't
liked the
know.
DD3, but he felt like it was too flippy for him anytime that because like the PD2s he was always all about. So we'll see.
Yeah.
You
We'll
know,
see.
we'll see. So, but good luck to him. I'm excited to see it. If he comes out and wins Vegas, I'm gonna be super excited, and
That'd be crazy.
we're gonna restock on MVP.
You
we're
want to
gonna
hear
we're I'll kick out Innova to put more MVP in there. Like,
you want to hear something funny? Is Gavin Babcock was in the DD or not D Discmania's warehouse the other day, and they did a live on Instagram. And so there's about 4 or 5 minute video of what he picked out from the warehouse.
mhm.
First thing he picked out was the new S line MD ones that came in the mystery box,
Oh,
and
sure,
right
sure.
after that, Mindbenders. And then he goes a
Yeah,
couple discs more, and it was Skyriders. You know, Simon's
yeah,
PD2 S line. So I was like, I wonder how many discs of Simon's he's actually going to throw after he's gone.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I bet you he'll still probably throw them because I mean, a lot of those younger guys probably go there because of Simon and Eagle and
Sure.
oh, it was great. Oh, speaking of Simon and Eagle, did you get the DGPT chat? Did you see all the stuff that came out about the DGPT chat? You know those
No, I didn't
smart
see it.
chats. So
Okay.
I think everything that I'm getting that it's a hoax. It's just kind of haha fun fun. But there was a big post that ran through Reddit about, hey, have you seen these things? Like, I'm not really liking what it is. But then one guy took a screenshot of the answer where it said, um, now that Simon has left Discmania, has him and Eagle broken up, and who's going to get custody of um, Casey White?
That
And I was like, oh, that's funny. And then the bot
is funny.
responded, just for clarification, Simon and Eagle were never truly together, and neither of them actually had custody of Casey White.
That's funny. I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh
If you
man.
go onto Reddit, you just look up the DGPT chat, and
Okay.
there's a bunch of them that run down. And even Terry Miller got in on it and was like, "This must be Tyler Brickley sitting in his basement with free time." I was like, "Yes, that would be, yeah."
I can see
So,
Tyler doing that.
it'd be hilarious. All right, so here is the random question for you, sir.
Oh boy.
I guess it's for us. Would you
Yeah.
rather live your life without air conditioning or without AC or deodorant?
Oh, okay.
Which
Is there a
one?
difference
Air
between AC and
conditioning or
air
AC?
conditioning? Yeah. I choose AC then. Uh,
Yeah.
was this the question that Ben came up with?
No, no, no. He never sent one
Okay.
to me.
Because he had in the group text, he's like, "Oh, I got a good question for Shane." I was like, "All right,
Yeah.
whatever."
He's like, I want
I
to see
think,
his face when I ask.
yeah, exactly. I think I'd rather live without AC than air conditioning because I think you could
Then deodorant.
drink.
You did it
Or
too.
yeah, I did it too. AC, yeah, yeah. Sorry. I'd rather live without AC than deodorant. And I think you can cool yourself down in other ways rather than having air conditioning. You know, you can jump in the lake or take a cold shower, ice water, you know, drink. There's ways to cool down your body rather than just sit in front of the cold air or walk in the freezer. Shane, see
Yeah,
how that works?
yeah, yeah. That's the mind vacuum when you walk into those walk-ins or the freezers.
Oh
It
yeah.
just like and everything's gone out of your mind. What did I
Hmm.
come in here for?
You can't
Um,
body odor. People look at you a little funny.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and they stay far away from me though, so that's probably an
Yeah.
advantage. I mean,
Step off. Oh,
yeah.
Nico needs that.
No, that's why Nico was telling
That's
that
why.
guy.
Yeah.
So that's the true reason. So breaking news here that Nico wasn't actually confrontational. He just didn't want to smell the guy anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I will go with the man. I really like air conditioning. I, I really like air conditioning. I'm so soft when it comes to that stuff. I'm going to say AC because the cooler you keep yourself, the less you're going to perspirate. And
Yeah.
there are things that you can do to reduce your armpit smell because I don't put deodorant anywhere else. It's not like I'm like lifting up my fat rolls and like putting it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Ew. Um. So yeah, it's not like I'm lifting up my fat rolls and putting it between my fat rolls. I mean, I'm. It's only underneath my arms, and even that, like, I heard lemon juice can help that. I've heard like a bunch of other. I don't do any of that stuff. I just like. I think mine's degree is that's the only stuff I use. The tuxedo stuff, the stuff that doesn't show on clothing. So
Yeah.
although I still always have those little white stains because I put my deodorant on before I put my shirt on. How about you?
I usually put my shirt on and then I'll lift it up and do the put the deodorant on.
Really? That
Yep.
seems weird to me, but maybe not because I get out of the shower, like, well, I dry myself off, then get out of the
Hmm.
shower, and then that's the first thing I do: deodorant, brush my teeth, and then go get dressed.
I guess maybe I'm 50-50 because maybe I do that too.
Are you like all over the
I don't know.
board with stuff like this? You just like kind
Yeah.
of willy nilly do it?
Yeah. I don't have a big routine with it. I always just kind of go
That
with the
seems
flow.
strange. So you like a sock shoe, or you like socks
Oh no,
shoes?
both socks and the shoes.
So you have a pattern and a routine with your socks and shoes, but not with deodorant.
No.
Why not?
Um,
Because what if you forget? What
no.
if you like? What if you're like chilling in
I
your
mean, I
well?
have,
See, you wouldn't forget
but
if you
I
had a
keep
good
it.
routine.
But you know what? I keep it in the car.
Oh.
I do. I have some in my bathroom and I have some in the car because midday I want to put more on so I don't smell so bad
I think you need to get
or
better
perspire.
deodorant if you need to apply again.
Well, when I'm driving doing the mail in the summer, I don't turn the AC on
Why?
because it just goes right out the window.
But it'll hit you before it goes out the window.
Eh, I don't know.
Oh, see, that's
Plus,
I'm soft. I'm soft.
yeah,
Like, no way, no way. I'd be like, how can I get that more direct? I'd like have you seen on Twitter or TikTok or wherever it was the crotch daddy?
no.
It is two things that you clip onto your vents, and it's a hose that you can like point right at your crotch.
That's actually really brilliant.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So, and I agree with them. And I didn't buy one.
Okay. Yeah, side eye.
So, all right.
Hey, why you got those hoses shoved up your pants?
But I mean, how nice would that be? Like your shorts, just like tuck it right in your short leg. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
go all the way up there, just like right in your short leg. Because so I sat in a car that had it was like a BMW M5 or something. I don't remember what it was.
Cooling
Um,
seats?
Cooling seats, best thing in the
Yes.
world.
Hmm.
They're actually too cold, but I'm not going to complain about that. I was just excited that we were in California and I sat in and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so nice. It's like right now with heated seats, like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like the hose thing for me as a mailman to like get out and put the hoses back in every time, like, that's super distracting.
it would be. I mean, the seated heats are
Seated heats. Yeah.
The
I know what you're saying. I know what you're
air
saying.
conditioned seats are going to be way better than the hose. But what if
Mhm.
you try? What if you're like the dude that has like the '92 Corolla? Like
Yeah.
that's a great upgrade. It's like when you buy an older car that doesn't have like a Bluetooth radio. Like you take that radio out and you put a new one in, right?
Yeah.
Then that's the same thing with if you don't have a crotch cooler, then you put a crotch cooler in. All right. So
Hey.
shop updates.
Okay.
All right. So Macbeth 6 times coming in. The Lazadal hexes are on their way. We will also have Graces coming in. They finally released some more Graces. So we'll actually have both Graces. We'll have the Tatar World Series and then the Supreme Graces. We might buy some more Supreme Escapes as well. Hopefully, we can get better variation in the color. And then there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of discs that are
Mm.
on the site at doordisc.com. So
Oh,
outside of that, oh,
I was just thinking, speaking of Latitude 64, I saw they just released the core.
they did only in Opto and only on L64.com.
Oh, okay.
They're not dropping tomorrow. Like there's a big bundle dropping on Friday the 20th, which is
Okay.
today, right? Essentially,
Yeah, when the
when this
when it
will come out.
drops.
So yeah, they're not doing it. Yeah, for some reason they're not, because I had one of our team members reach out like, I saw the core was coming and I bought some, but I want to make sure if you're getting some, I'll buy some through you. And I was like,
Yeah, yeah, I saw that on Facebook. Someone had done this. Yeah.
uh-huh, uh-huh. So, um, but yeah, I think outside of that, that's what we got. And there are a lot of discs. So um just keep peeking back because we're putting more and more on. I probably still have another 1,500 or so to put onto the site. So we will slowly and surely keep getting them. And then we'll have interruptions with getting those on the site with the new stuff that's coming in. And I'm sorry, we're not going to do pre-orders, but as soon as those launch for the day of, if you didn't get in on the pre-sales, they'll be up on the site. So um, outside of that, just the Patreon, man, the OnlyFans. What's going on? We made
I don't have any
promises.
content. I know. I don't know what to do.
There's
I really don't.
content. Do you see these things right here? Those are cameras. We
Yeah.
can make some content,
Yeah, we can, I
like some
guess.
good content, and with our clothes on or off. I mean,
You brought that up, not me.
I'm just kidding. My clothes don't come off. Don't, they're just painted on. All right, that would be even
Strange.
worse. I think that would be
Yeah.
even worse. I don't know
Body
if there's a
paint.
way I can dig
Clothes
out of this hole, so I'm just gonna.
on.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, first time on video. Hopefully it turns out all right.
Yeah, yeah, and hopefully there's not a lot of echo. It is weird because there's a slight lag. I can hear
Yeah.
you talk, and then it comes into my ear. So I don't know which one I should respond off of. So I've been just kind of focusing on what's in my headphones. Hopefully that makes it a cleaner. So if there's some awkward breaks or I'm talking too soon, that's probably why. But outside of that, hope you enjoyed the podcast. Keep it subpar. And I guess we're on video now. I can do the winky thing. See ya.
Ooh.